Good evening, my viewers. Welcome back to the Ghostbuster-A-Thon. And now, I'm about to wrap this up, folks, because we're now reviewing the latest entry in the Ghostbusters franchise, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, I saw it in the theaters. So, if you haven't seen it, get off this video, because this contains major spoilers. You have been warned. Now, after the success of Ghostbusters Afterlife, they continue the story by making Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This time they're back in New York City, and the new generation of characters, which now continues on with Egon's grandchildren having their own adventures in Egon's family, having their own adventures capturing ghosts, beginning with chasing after a new ghost called the Chinatown Sewer Dragon. I mean, Hell's Kitchen Sewer Dragon. And it was such a nice design. It even got some new gadgets, including a ghost trap up in the air, like a drone. Even moments where Phoebe even took risks, even as a 15-year-old kid. And after capturing the dragon, they bring back this asshole from the first Ghostbusters film, Walter Peck. And he's been elected mayor of New York City. Yeah, that's right. This asshole you've remembered from the first original Ghostbusters film is back. This time being a mayor. And he ended up having a law against Phoebe, all because she's a minor, only 15 years old. And then they end up penalizing the idea of keeping her having her live life as a kid again. Even Phoebe hates it. Being pushed aside, trying to prove that she can do things that adults can do, and like she felt like she's not allowed to be a Spangler anymore, but her family is allowed to go out and about. But then we introduce a new ghost, which Phoebe then makes friends with a ghost. And then it also began in the intro shows that were in 1904 about an entity that would turn to people into ice, and it can only control ghosts instead of live people. The entity was named Garaka, which is this horned demonic entity, godlike entity, who's bent on taking over the world, like ending the world in a frozen empire. So they even introduced new characters, including an engineer, and even Winston now is now a philanthropist with all the Ghostbuster Corps. And now they even have it brings back the all of New York City as the Ghostbusters were originally meant to be in. And it's so good to see the Ghostbusters, the true original Ghostbusters, back in New York City. And there's this sphere that puts an entity in prison. Who puts Garaka in prison. And the only ones that can defeat Garaka is called the Fire Master, because fire and ice. And then when Phoebe meets up And that's when we found out some ghosts can be contained inside glass as long as they have the proton force field. Even introduced new proton streams through a bracelet, which you can just blast out of, which is awesome. I love all the new gadgets, even the new branches in the Ghostbuster core. And now, as the circumstances of having Phoebe's ghost getting controlled by Garaka, and then Garaka's finally free, and he ends up getting his horns back, which means he got his powers back. So, the original OG team decided to help the new team. Even Janine Melnitz gets to join in and be a Ghostbuster, helping the team and the family. And the whole battle took place in the firehouse. And with the tradition, they even have new jackets for them to protect while they're warming up, especially during the cold days. And it's weird because it's also set in the summer, which is why the Garakas trying to make the end of the world and shit. Parts of it kind of remind me of The Day After Tomorrow, which that one's actually quite an interesting movie, if you ask me. Now back to Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Now this one, I really recommend. They really tried bringing back the supernatural elements, and this one definitely I recommend giving a watch. I mean, it's gotten slammed by critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but a really high audience score. I mean, don't listen to what the critics say. This one, the critics are bullshit now. I don't think they even clearly watched it. I watched it from the whole movie. Oh yeah, even though Stay Puft Marshmallow Man minis are back. And they were hilarious as always. And Slimer is back. And it's great to see that character back on the big screen. It's even and it felt so good to have the original cast back, as well as the new generation cast together, and they all teamed up and battled Garaka and the Fire Master. And one character reveals to be the Fire Master, and turns out Garaka. It took a lot more than Busters. Too, which my God, I was scared shitless for them, because knowing the Ghostbusters, they always have a new entity. New York City be in chaos. And what's even heartfelt is just like the first one, fantastic. Oh, the definitely a great. it's still a great comeback to the original Ghostbusters, all in all. And also, there's a post-credit scene when you go see it, and it has the the post-credit scene has all the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man minis messing around the character's truck, and that's it for the Ghostbuster-A-Thon, and that's all for now because this is the end for the Ghostbuster-A-Thon. And and if there is more Ghostbuster films coming up, I will definitely give that a review sometime in the future. And I hope you enjoyed the Ghostbuster-A-Thon while it lasted. And as always, stay awesome, and I'll see you tonight. This is Monster Master Godzilla signing out. And I'll see you tonight.